Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he probably was like, we don't want Kyrie to leave. Like, but if Kyrie said, I don't want to be here, he probably was like, fuck it, he don't want to be here.
You know, every time you play with LeBron, it's going to be a lot of media attention. It's going to be a lot of back and forth of narratives. It's going to be about a lot of spun narratives. It's going to be a lot of politics. It's going to be a lot of shit that a lot of people don't see in front of the camera.
Man, Bron dropped the marker and just lays back in his chair for about 10 minutes. Doesn't say a word. Like, just pissed off.
Tyronn Lue recently sat down with Shannon Sharpe and described an emotional moment involving LeBron James, claiming that at one of LeBron's foundation events, he froze for 10 full minutes, marker falling from his hand, completely devastated after hearing Kyrie Irving had been traded to Boston. For 8 years, that story has been repeated like it was fact carved in stone, but now the cracks are showing. Jeff Teague just came out and shattered the entire narrative. Speaking as someone who actually understands how players act when the cameras are off, Teague looked straight into the camera and said what nobody wanted to admit. He probably don't care, bro. He probably don't give a... Teague added that LeBron was headed to LA anyway, flipping the long-accepted storyline on its head.
LeBron, we sitting there, handling the phone, Sports Center. Kyrie Irving's just been traded to the Boston Celtics. Man, Bron dropped the marker and just lays back in his chair for about 10 minutes. Doesn't say a word. Like, just pissed off. And Bron was crushed. And I saw when that happened, I thought things would I thought Bron would do something different, sooner than later. And that's what he did.
So you believe LeBron would have stayed in Cleveland had Kyrie stayed in Cleveland?
Yes. I think so.
Damn, and Teague wasn't finished. He tore down the whole fake idea that NBA teammates are always close off the court, reminding everyone that players are professionals first, not family. When the lights go out, he said, it's a completely different world. Teague even admitted, to be real, playing basketball, you really don't care about other people. You honestly don't. And when it comes to LeBron, he insisted the situation hits even different. This isn't speculation either. This is coming from someone who's actually lived in NBA locker rooms and understands how things really work behind the scenes. But it gets even louder. Rob Parker, never afraid to call out LeBron, has been hinting at this moment for years. Parker's long claimed that LeBron's emotions often look calculated, his reactions staged, his big moments more like performances than genuine feelings. And now we've got evidence people have ignored. Kyrie himself hopped on a Twitch stream and laid everything out plainly.
Lee, I know LeBron get people traded, but I don't think he be knowing everything. Like, sometimes he be like, he probably don't care, bro. Like, to be real, like playing basketball, you really don't care about other people.
When you play alongside someone like LeBron, explained Kyrie, everything changes. It's a completely different experience, a different level of scrutiny, pressure, and expectation. Once you join forces with LeBron, you're expected to sit at the top of the charts, top of the league, top of every discussion. Every game comes with heavy media attention, non-stop narratives, and layers of behind-the-scenes politics that fans never see. And when you line up the timeline, everything suddenly makes sense. LeBron knew the Warriors with Kevin Durant were unbeatable. He watched Cleveland's championship window slam shut right in front of him. And according to Jeff Teague, LeBron wasn't losing sleep over any of it. Teague said the line that stunned everyone, "I'm going to LA anyway." It was like the King already had his exit plan set long before Kyrie asked out, almost as if he had mentally packed his bags. But here's the part that flips everything upside down. What if LeBron actually wanted Kyrie gone?
Like, when he go home, he probably like, hey man, we need this person, we need that person.
Yeah.
And then after a while, he probably like, I don't give a all right, bro.
Think about it. LeBron needed someone to shoulder the blame once Cleveland ran into that unstoppable Warriors super team. And what storyline fits better than my co-star abandoned me? It shifts the narrative, protects his legacy, and gives fans an easy explanation for why the Cavs could no longer compete with Golden State.
Like, to be real, like playing basketball, you really don't care about other people. You honestly don't. Mook, you know that.
No, we don't. But Bron, his situation a little different.
Not Angle gives LeBron cover for every loss that was coming and sets up his move to LA as the story of a misunderstood star who was betrayed. Ty Lue claimed LeBron begged Kyrie to stay, even comparing it to another Kobe and Shaq situation. But what if Lue was the only one doing any begging? What if LeBron was already planning his own exit while letting Kyrie take all the blame for breaking up a championship team?
Once again, if he had enough rings to be considered the greatest, it would be okay. This is a typical LeBron. He doesn't feel like he's going to get there, and that's going to be held against him, so now he's going to downplay the ring. He's talking about winning rings, because that's what he wanted to win.
Yeah, that version sounds a lot more realistic once you start connecting the dots. And the deeper you look into the timeline, the stranger everything becomes. This is the same LeBron James who orchestrated the decision in 2010, who helped assemble the Miami super team, and who timed his Cleveland return perfectly with that Sports Illustrated letter. LeBron doesn't make moves without a blueprint.
That AD and Luka on his squad, and he's 2-12 in the NBA playoffs. And he looked all of 40 last night. I got one message to LeBron James. A, you deserve all of this because you keep messing around with the teammates, the roster. At least you won a championship with AD. Messing around with the roster, messing around with the coaches. Told Darvin Ham, who took you to the Western Conference Finals and won an in-season tournament, you'll hang a banner. He was no good. You get your podcast partner, JJ Redick.
Now look at what insiders say was happening in Cleveland during that final year. Kyrie was growing more and more frustrated with the team dynamics. But here's the part nobody ever talks about. How did LeBron respond? Did he step in and fight to keep his championship partner? Did he pull Kyrie aside for a real leader-to-star conversation? Or did he just sit back and let the entire situation collapse right in front of him? Because if LeBron stayed silent on purpose, everything looks different. And this is where things get wild. Jeff Teague's revelation about pro athletes not really caring about teammates the way fans imagine suddenly makes
with somebody like Bron or somebody that you guys like to compare him to, it's a different animal. It's a different journey. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're automatically expected to be at the top of the charts, the top of the league. You know, every time you play with Bron, it's going to be a lot of media attention. It's going to be a lot of back and forth of narratives. It's going to be about a lot of spun narratives. It's going to be a lot of politics. It's going to be a lot of shit that a lot of people don't see in front.
This is the same guy who switched teams 4 different times with perfect timing, always making moves that elevated his brand and protected his legacy. But here's where things turn downright diabolical. Teague pointed out something everyone seemed to skip over. LeBron already knew his plans, including his eventual move to LA. That means his reaction to Kyrie leaving wasn't some emotional, heartbroken moment. It wasn't shock, it wasn't betrayal. It was simply part of a bigger plan he'd already set in motion.
The reason why I say I would have loved to play with Kobe, because I would have loved to have started my career.
But that's like another Kobe and Shaq situation. I would never let it happen.
You're right.
Like, and I begged and pleaded. You know, Kobe.
LeBron said he begged and pleaded,
too.
said, hey, don't trade him. He still got a year on his contract. Don't trade him.
Bron was doing an autograph signing with jerseys and stuff for his foundation. So I come sit next to Bron. We sitting there, handling the phone, Sports Center. Kyrie Irving's just been traded to the Boston Celtics. Man, Bron dropped the marker and just lays back in his chair for about 10 minutes. Doesn't say a word, like just pissed off. And Bron was crushed. And I saw when that happened, I thought things would I thought Bron would do something different, you know, sooner than later. And that's what he did.
So you believe LeBron would have stayed in Cleveland had Kyrie stayed in Cleveland?
Yes. I think so.
It was premeditated. LeBron was already mapping out his Hollywood chapter while publicly presenting himself as Cleveland's loyal hometown hero. And here comes the smoking gun no one ever mentions. Remember how quickly LeBron's camp leaks that emotional story about him being crushed? Just hours after the Kyrie trade, the world suddenly had this perfectly polished tale of him dropping a marker and sitting frozen in silence. That's not a raw, unfiltered moment. That's a carefully packaged narrative designed to draw sympathy and shape the public storyline.
No matter how much money you got, no matter how famous you are, no matter how many people admire you, at the end of the day, being a black man in America is very frightening, and it lets us know that we got so much further to go to be equal in this country.
LeBron James is not smart. He's a basketball player. He's reveling in pretending to be a victim. He hasn't been a victim at any point in his lifetime.
People, that's damage control at the highest level. Nothing about the timing of that story felt natural. Think about it. If LeBron were truly devastated, would his first instinct be to have his camp leak emotional details to the media? Or would he take time to process it privately like any normal person? The speed of that rollout screamed strategy. It looked like a PR shield deployed before the narrative could shift in a direction he didn't want. Rob Parker has been calling out these staged LeBron moments for years, pointing out how rehearsed and calculated they always seem coming from one of the biggest stars on the planet.
LeBron James has got to be pissed. We all know Kyrie Irving got traded to the Dallas Mavericks, but when you see that trade package, you'd think the Lakers were able to get it done. The Mavericks traded Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, a first-round pick in 6 years in 2029, and a couple second-round picks, and they landed Kyrie Irving. They got Luka, their second star. I know LeBron's about to be pissed because this seems very realistic. Something LeBron and the Lakers could have figured out, and who knows, AD, LeBron, and Kyrie, they might.
Parker argues that LeBron's reactions often feel like performances designed to keep his public image spotless. When he says LeBron doesn't want criticism, he's pointing to a deeper truth.